Yo, what is going on everyone, and welcome to this video. So this video is going to be a bit more serious. It's not really like a song reaction, it's a bit more political, so because so many people requested I react to a video on Palestine, so I found this cartoon video. I don't know, 5-minute history, so let's check this out. I think it's a bit more easy, it's a bit more simple, you know, it's just 5 minutes. But if you guys are new to my channel, please make sure to check out my videos. We've done tons of reactions, but let's check this out, guys. I'm sorry the quality is really bad. It only goes to 240p, so I am sorry, but...
What would happen if you built a refuge for a persecuted people in a place where another people already lived? In the next few minutes, you'll learn why this moral quandary is at the root of the struggle between Israelis and Palestinians. First, there are a couple of things it's helpful to understand. One, many Jews fled harsh persecution in anti-Semitic Europe, especially the Nazi Holocaust. Zionists encouraged massive immigration to historic Palestine, at that time a British colony, where Jews had an age-old connection and where small Jewish communities had long existed among larger groups of indigenous peoples. But when the UN offered the Jewish immigrants the majority of the land for a new state called Israel, for the indigenous Palestinians who lived there, it was a
Guys, I'm going to say my opinion at the end.
Destruction of life. They rejected the UN's partition plan, and several Arab states invaded the new state of Israel. Israeli forces essentially erased over 400 Palestinian villages and towns. By the end of the fighting, Israel controlled 78% of historic Palestine. And when 750,000 Palestinians who fled or were expelled during fighting tried to return to their homes where the new state now stood, they were permanently barred by the Israeli government.
I know.
While over 100,000 of their relatives and neighbors who hadn't left became second-class citizens of the new state, along with the new Jewish majority. Today, Palestinian refugees and their descendants number in the millions. Most are in the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, and Jordan. Many are spread throughout the world, with millions still living in refugee camps, seeking to return to their homeland.
Even guys, there's a lot of Palestinians in America, actually.
One group of refugees found a much-needed home, but in the process, a new group of refugees was created. Here's the second thing to understand. Israel was founded as a Jewish state, but now ask yourself, what exactly does that mean? People had lots of ideas about what a Jewish state should look like. Some called for equality for all citizens. But what was created, in practice, was institutional discrimination against non-Jews. In other words, Israel ended up being built on a blueprint of exclusion. The Israeli government wants maximum land and resources for Jews, but not the Palestinians living there. That's why, inside Israel, Jews get special privileges, including rights to land and housing, that are denied to the Palestinian citizens, who make up 20% of Israel's population. That's also part of why Israel has never defined its borders. In fact, they still hold on to land, the West Bank and Gaza, that they conquered in the war in 1967. Since then, Israel has built Jewish settlements throughout the occupied West Bank, building Jewish-only cities and supplying them with infrastructure like roads and army camps, schools, and even a college. Military occupations are meant to be temporary, but after 40-plus years, this one looks permanent and entirely unjust. In the West Bank, Israeli Jewish settlers and Palestinians live on the same land, but must live under two completely separate and unequal systems of Israeli law. The Jewish settlers dominate the natural resources, including water and agricultural land, and they're backed by the Israeli army. To maintain the occupation, Israel has demolished thousands of Palestinian homes and orchards, confiscated Palestinian land, bombed a captive civilian population in Gaza, and punished resistance with raids, arrests, and assassinations, all to gain maximum land, while making life so difficult for Palestinians that they will either leave or be too afraid to resist. Palestinians have fought back. For decades, they tried to achieve national liberation through armed struggle. Some groups still do, but the majority now support popular protest instead. The deeply harmful pattern of control, repression, and violence profoundly harms Palestinians living under occupation and Israelis living as occupiers. This must be broken to reach a peaceful and secure future for both peoples.
There will
Now
never be
that you
peace.
understand the problem, what about the solution? What about peace talks? So far, over 2 decades of U.S.-backed peace talks have actually made things worse by helping Israel continue the occupation. It's been years of talking while Israel massively expanded the Jewish settlements and literally redrew the map. Peace talks are good if they're real, but not when they're theater to cover a land grab. So now what? The current world superpower, the United States, has been a terrible friend, enabling Israel's destructive and self-destructive expansion onto Palestinian land by funding the Israeli military, the biggest recipient of U.S. foreign aid in the world. But there's another superpower that can make the difference: you. There's a movement with hundreds of thousands of people just like you across the world, including Palestinians and Israelis, protesting, educating, divesting, and boycotting, all to bring nonviolent international pressure on Israel to stop violating human rights of Palestinians.
Wow, guys, I'm going to give my opinion on this now. So basically, every single thing they said here is true. I'm quite kind of surprised. I thought it would be like some Israeli propaganda video, but legit, guys, this is completely true. So basically, the Israelis don't want peace. You obviously know they don't want peace. You know what? Like, it's just, you can see every single week people are dying. Right now there's these protests in Gaza. I think it's called like the March of Return. And these protests, how many Palestinian dies? Like 150 Palestinian dies. And every single day, guys, even I just have this news app on my phone called RT. It's like this Russian news, okay? So I just look on the Russian news every day. You see, oh, like yesterday, guys, yesterday, well, I swear to my life, yesterday or the day before yesterday, I saw some Israeli guy. He moved in a Palestinian man's home and he said, this is my home, okay? And he just kicked the Palestinian out. And the Israeli army, they don't do anything. They just say, okay, stay in the home, okay? Like, it's ridiculous. Obviously, it's racism. It's all racism. Like, the whole state is racism. And, that's ridiculous, you know what I mean? It's like me saying, oh yeah, my great grandfather lived in this house, so this is my house. Habib, life doesn't work like that, you know what I mean? Like, clearly it doesn't. And you see the Israelis are like, yeah, this is a Jewish homeland for about 50 years. Mate, it's not the Jewish homeland. It's not the Jewish homeland, really isn't, okay? You guys left. If this land belonged to Israel, if your main argument for Israel being there is that they owned it 3,000 years ago, why doesn't Iran own Turkey? Because they could say, oh, it's the Persian Empire. It was 3,000 years ago, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It's clearly racist, guys. Every single thing about this is racist. Israel, they demolish homes, they demolish schools, they build walls around the Palestinians, they subject the Palestinians to checkpoints, they kill the Palestinians. Look, that basically explains it. Where's the picture? Did I lose? Look. Like, it's completely true, guys. And a bit of history on me, guys. So I'm actually English. My mother's English, but my dad's Jordanian, because we weren't originally Jordanian. We're actually originally Palestinian, but the reason we are living in Jordan and have Jordanian passport and everything now, it's because Israel kicked them out. They just kicked them out their home. That's ridiculous, guys. And the US, oh my god, the US, how is US going to make peace with anyone if they're giving the weapons to Israel? Like, you know what I mean? And especially Trump. Now Trump did this Jerusalem thing, even more Palestinians are dying, okay? And you see the Israelis trying to play the victim. We're just defending ourselves, okay? If you look at how many Palestinians die, it's like one Israeli dead for like 400 Palestinians. It's ridiculous. Inshallah the war will stop, but I don't think it will stop. But obviously, what can we do? Just pray inshallah it'll get better. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please tell me what you think. Who do you support? Do you support Israel or Palestine? Obviously I support Palestine. How could I support a state that kills children? But okay, thank you for watching, guys.